Kia ora, nau mai hoki mai ki tētahi terenga anō o Sharpen Up. This is our 31st episode. Big mihi to Groove Bar and Beard Brothers, who are our major sponsors. Today we have Courtney missing, so we've got the super sub Joe Royal in to host, but we've got some very special manuhiri today, timely too. Two former NRL and Super League players, Kenny Edwards and Mahe Fonua. E mihi ana kia kōrua, cheer brothers.
Thanks, brothers. Thanks for having us.
Firstly, brothers, I'd just like to, I know there's been a huge weekend of sport, and there's a big weekend of sport coming up. You have just touched down from Australia, but before that, I want to start our show today with the NRL Grand Final today, and the Broncos getting up over the Melbourne Storm. What was your thoughts on the game, Kenny?
Bro, it was a tough one. We were travelling on our way over from Australia to here, so we were travelling. We were in the air for most of it. We caught probably the first half an hour. Melbourne started strong. I know Brisbane scored that first one, but Melbourne started strong. They're playing straight through the middle, straight through the front door. I thought, man, this is going to be another Melbourne bloody game where they're just too clinical and too big, too strong. But we got up in the air till we got the last 20 minutes, turned it on, and Broncos were back in the lead. So I don't know what happened in between, but man, just that last 20 minutes, I just seen Reece Walsh go to another level, bro. Setting them up, saving them. It was another level.
Bro, talking on Reece Walsh, you were lucky enough to play with Hainsey, and his run in 2009 was probably one of the great runs as a fullback. Where do you put Reece Walsh's performance this year?
Yeah, tough one. Hainsey, everyone knows it's not. It's common knowledge that Reece Walsh is probably at the start of the year was a bit hot and cold. Man, towards this last sort of 6 weeks, bro, he's really gone on that run like Hainsey did, the back end of 09. But bro, Reece Walsh is another level, man. It's probably his mouldy side coming out. But no, he's another level, bro. The powerness and explosiveness he has coming out of his legs is another level, bro. And you're right. We were both lucky to play with Hainsey in that 2014 when he got the Dally M2. I was lucky enough to play with him that year. But bro, Reece Walsh is another level, man. As I said last night, he was. That last try, Ali Couture went through, and he picked the right option. Ali Couture threw that pass, and then he picked the right option to make that tackle to save the game right on full time there. He's a legend, bro. Indigenous boy, Māori boy, and straight out of Kibra Park's production line.
Gee.
Yeah, bro.
Mahe, bro, you're a former Melbourne Storm player, and I think you're the first Victorian-born player to come through the grades in the 20s and to represent the Melbourne Storm, bro. And you spent a lot of time under Craig. And what were your thoughts?
On the game, I thought, similar to Kenny, obviously Brisbane scored first, and then Melbourne come back. But in the end, Brisbane's been comeback kings in the second half these last couple of weeks, and they're in some hot form. Everyone probably thought that Melbourne were going to run away with it, but Brisbane do what they've done well these last couple of weeks in the finals, and that second half, they're just too good, too strong, and Reece Walsh played a massive part in that. And kudos to them, hats off to them, getting the win.
I'm surprised at how strong Walsh is,
100, yeah, man.
Like, if you put him into, because I've got a rugby background, but if you put him into the rugby scene, he'd get chewed up. But in the league sense,
just another level,
I don't know, he's just, I don't know, real strong for a little guy. And that try that he did score, he had gone through
right
3 or 4 defenders through the middle. So I was I buzz out at just how even Ezra Mann with some of the defensive stops he was doing. I thought even though borderline should have been sin bin. Acres.
Brother Bro's on the plane, filthy ass. Melbourne
was going Yahoo and on the plane. Everyone looking back, but it wasn't meant to be.
Bro, talking about your time with Craig, that's back-to-back finals now, losing for Melbourne. What sort of messaging, what sort of coach is he, bro? What would he be messaging to the boys?
Well, it's obviously hard, in any defeat, and then, but I think you mentioned earlier in the week in one of their conferences that getting to a grand final is an achievement itself. Whether they win or they lose, they he was still proud of the boys. So I'm sure that, he'd be going around and still crediting the boys for getting, to the big dance, but there's only 2 teams at the end of the day, and one of them's going to be a winner. So I'm sure he's, trying to comfort the boys because it is a big thing mentally, as well as physically, getting there and, hyping yourself up and being in front, and, there's this big emotional roller coaster in the game. So I dare say his message is, just trying to support the boys as well as himself. He's gone to 2 grand finals in a row and he's lost as a head coach. I don't know where his, mentors is at as a coach, but, I know him personally, and I was very fortunate to, be coached by him. I'm sure he's, comforting the boys at this moment, and, I'm sure he's, passing on some good wisdom.
And both of you have played over 600 games between you. That's a lot of footy, and we had one player yesterday, and Ben Hunt playing 355 games at the top, bro. And any of you's got to play with him, or and what that means to play that many games?
Oh, bro, I can only imagine on his body, all those boys, him and Reynolds, bro, how their bodies are holding up after playing so many games, not just NRL, but representative. They're playing Origin consistently, especially Honey playing Origin consistently every year for the last 10 years, and Australia tours and all that sort of stuff, bro. I only played a handful of games of NRL, just under 100, and bro, my body's wrecked now. I can't imagine how those boys are still going. But I got to play with Honey and Australian Schoolboys. We played Queensland together. We made the Australian Schoolboys team together. Very much, mate, passionate as he is now. You see through the TV, bro. Very, very passionate fella. And like I said, bro, I don't know how he's still going.
True.
Back to Craig.
Yep.
Like obviously you spent some time under him. What are his sprays like? Are they as what people
phenomenal, mate. Phenomenal.
What's the worst one you've ever got? Either yourself or the team?
Yeah, I copped a pretty big spray myself. I think 2014, we were playing the Bronx down at Amy Park, and it was to get into the finals. And I'd picked an intercept against the Bronx, and back in my quicker days, I managed to burn a few Brisbane players and go on to score the try, but I was thinking like nines and, trying to burn time down because we needed a win. So I got over the try line.
It's on YouTube.
If you see the video, Bellamy's riding me home, go. And then I'm stood in the back just not putting the ball down. And then he goes, turns to go, get tapped. Right, so I copped the absolute all-timer spray from him live, or like after the game, and got a phone call. But the next day, had some rest, and the next day he gave me a call just to apologise for it. But that's, bro, proper spray. When he's angry, you definitely know about it, and you feel it too because there's a bit of your spit that comes out. So he's a good fella, but he's very passionate.
And I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that box.
Like
you see it on TV, but just and kudos to the man. He's a great coach.
100%.
He's had some great players under him, and he's developing that Storm culture. And I see, even though my team's the Raiders.
Yeah.
Bro, what do you reckon the secret is? Melbourne's been at the top, for so long. Like, what are some of the gems that you've taken away from your time then? Is there a secret, or is it just hard mahi?
It is pretty much hard mahi. He's big on being mentally strong, and he puts the boys through their paces through pre-season. And the proof's in the pudding with how successful he is and how many teams that he's taken to grand finals, and some of the players, that he's developed that will probably be unknown before they'd come onto the scene, or maybe on their way out of their career, and then he's reignited their career again. It just comes down to hard work out on the paddock, and as well as he, for me, I give a lot of credit to him for like all my footy knowledge. I've been very fortunate to be coached under a couple of grand final coaches in my time, but I think a lot of my footy knowledge comes from him, from what I've learned in the game. When it comes to him, I was there young. He gave me my first opportunity to play NRL, and then seeing me through my first stint in the NRL before I went over to Super League. But he gets to know the person, the individual as well, gets the best out of them as well. It just honestly just comes down to hard work, and he can sort of I don't know what the word is, but he just knows how to make a player, like take him right to the brink of, make or break. And most kids come out the other end. Most players come out the other end, and there's the proof, on the paddock when you see those boys play.
Did you do army camps at Melbourne, bro? Because that was one of the highlights that I've thought of after the game, and hearing Reece Walsh straight after he took him right back to an army camp and to that dark place. What were some of the lessons through those army camps under him, bro?
For me, it was just staying alive, man. For me, it was just making sure.
Have you seen the bro do fitness?
For me, it was just please make it to the next day. All right, stay alive. All right.
Praise.
You finished in the
Bro, the last couple of weeks we've been flogging our boys over and on, and he's been doing the conditioning. Because, bro, if you know Mahe, you know, bro, he's that bad when it comes to con. And, bro, I just hear the boys say, "Oh, stand off to the side," and the bro's taking them for the conditioning. And all you hear is one of the boys say, "You show us how to do it."
I've done my time, kids. It's your guys' time. It's your guys' time.
Bro's that bad.
Yeah, but getting back to those army camps, there's obviously some evidence in it, for some coaches that they see players come out mentally stronger in that. But honestly, through those 2.5 days with the minimal sleep you get, it's honestly about surviving. And like sometimes it shows at the end of the year, like for Reece and the Broncos, looking back at that, when you're going through that tough time, I'm sure the coaches use the grand final as a goal, and then when you get there, you look back at it and like, this is what we done it for. You know what I mean? That's what it means 100%. So much in that. So well,
you just have to look at that last 15 minutes of the game. They were just trying to survive. They lost Ben Hunt, they lost Reynolds. They had no halves on the field controlling them, and that's it takes you back to staying alive.
Just found a way.
Yeah. What about you, Kenny, bro?
Army camps? No, I've only done one. And it wasn't. I won't say it wasn't tough, but I think we only done it for a day and a bit. So not as tough as anything that they've done out in Melbourne in terms of the army camps. But bro,
were you in that army camp?
Nah, this is Para 2016-17, one of those years, or 18. But every pre-season's hard, bro. As we all know, we've been professional sportsmen, whether you play rugby union, rugby league, every pre-season, is tough. And I can't imagine those bellyache ones, bro. I've heard stories.
Because we're praising the players, Walshy and all them for the Bronx, but I don't think we can go past what Madge has done. Like we talk about Craig, but on the other end, on the other side, we had Michael Maguire, and again the infamous camp that they had, that Walsh talked about. But you look at his CV, he's took New South Wales to a Origin series, took the Kiwis to a win as well, and then now he's got the Bronx as in the NRL Premiership. So I think we can't go past. Guess what he's done for them?
100%.
And 100%. Everyone was riding them off early in the year, and it all paid off, I think.
Just from the outside looking in, with that New South Wales, when he come back on board, they hadn't gone the best, the last couple of years. They'd lost the unlosable series. They lost, for 2 years before that, I think. And coming back in, you've seen the passion he brought back in, the culture he brought old boys back in. He stripped away the speakers. The Penrith boys, they like to take those speakers into camps. He stripped that stuff away. He stripped it back. And you see him when he went to the Broncos, he stripped boys, they normally wear shirts off in those things at the start of pre-season. He said, "No, everyone's shirts on. We're stripping everything back, and we're just getting back to hard work, man." And everything he's based as, I was just looking from the outside in, is based around hard work and culture, man. And like you said, bro, you can't knock what he's done for New Zealand, New South Wales, Brisbane Broncos, and unlucky at West Tigers there. But bro, it's just I wanted the Broncos to win just for him, and Dozer and those boys, and I was just happy they did,
I just want to share some light on our wahine too. The women's, the Broncos also won over the Roosters. Long time, I think it was 19 win streak for the Roosters, 19 game win streak for the Roosters.
Wow.
And I just seen recently, you've introduced some wahine girls team into your guys' League Kings Academy. What's your whakaaro on the growth of the wahine game?
Fastest growing sport, bro. women's rugby league in Australia. I don't know how it is in New Zealand, but it's the fastest growing sport in Oz, bro, is women's rugby league. And for the first year and a half, we had our academy. It was supposed to be a mixed, at the start we were getting girls, and then we started to sort of, die off, and we're to the point we had like 2 or 3 girls. And then just recently, bro, those 2 or 3 girls that turned up consistently, I just wanted to create opportunities for those girls. Nice. Not only to get better at rugby league, but to feel comfortable in the environment of learning. Some can learn when being around boys, but clearly they just didn't in our environment. So I just wanted to create that for those girls, and we just had an All-Stars series. We created an All-Star series over there. We played a 3-match series against Indigenous All-Stars, and mate, our girls loved it. Absolutely loved it, bro. And so happy and pumped that we've done those for our girls in Mackay, bro. And like I said last week, when I first started our League Kings Academy, if you had told me right at the start, was I taking teams to Gold Coast to tour, was I taking teams to New Zealand, I would have said, hell no. You know what I mean? So if that's a start for our girls, if that was a start last week, I can't wait to see where our academy for our girls can go to in the future.
It'd be good to see the growth of league, our Wahine league here. A lot of it's through the rugby. So the rugby program for girls in Wahine is massive.
Yeah, gotcha.
But the ability for them to cross over and play NRLW, I think that's the flexibility here in New Zealand. I don't know what it's like in Aussie, but
bro, they play a lot of touch footy. So all our girls play touch footy, touch footy, Oztag, all that sort of stuff. And it sort of filters through, like you see, everyone sees the girls on TV now. Like my daughter's never played sports in her life. She's 15. But then this year we watched the game yesterday, the NRLW final. She watched the whole thing with me yesterday before we flew. And so just seeing those faces on TV, seeing them consistently every week, seeing those faces working for the Brisbane Broncos, for them out working in the community for those teams, just their faces on TV, bro, is building the profile, not only for rugby league but women in sport.
Hard out, bro, and same as the men's game. Ours just as exciting, just as courageous. Some of those Roosters players at the end, they were just battling.
Oh, those ladies!
They had a couple of golf balls, and it shows how tough our wahine are too. Just like to me, to all our wahine and to the Bronx, obviously they're the winning club.
Is it the first time Premier Men's?
I dare say so. Yeah,
true. The both of them.
Yeah.
Because it's been the Roosters. They've
Two.
been dominant,
and the women's.
And the women's.
Yeah.
But, there you go. That's a
awesome,
bit of a milestone there for the club.
Yeah, what a place to be at the moment. Just thriving, Brisbane Broncos at the moment.
AFL. The Lions
one. Lions one as well. What a statement.
Something in Brisbane. Walshy. Put it out.
Drink it out of bloody toilets.
Put it all those funny fuckers in those facilities.
Holy.
There's got to be something.
Something in the water, the funny pucker water.
Also like to Mahe, to the other pathway that leads people to get to the NRL, the New South Wales Cup final, and our Waz managed to get the win over a Burleigh team. But just like to me, to someone like Bunty Afoa, 10 years at the Warriors and been grinding away, and for him to go out with a win. We've all experienced, New South Wales Cup, bro. Do you think it's still an important competition to have, bro, New South Wales Cup?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, there's no 20s anymore, and I think it's a bridge and a pathway for our Colts players. I think now they've just introduced Jersey Flag back in a 21s competition, and I think that's only based in New South Wales. But I think when players see NRL players come back and play in a New South Wales Cup, it gives them that aspiration, like, I want to be able to, rub shoulders with this player that's coming back that week or whatever. But that's the next best competition in our country at the minute, New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup. So, I definitely think there's a place in Australian rugby league for it, and it'll help. Because you can only have 17 players on the field from an NRL team, their boys got to go back and play somewhere. And, that'll just strengthen that competition.
Probably a partai for all three of you, since you played at that level. Is there a big difference between Q Cup and New South Wales Cup? Because watching that final, the Warriors just look like way ahead of the Burleigh Bees. I don't know.
I think in New South Wales Cup you'll see a lot more full-time players that are in NRL systems. Q Cup is boys, so we've done a Q Cup pre-season together, and it's just like a lot of boys for that work all day, it's not really a full-time environment.
Yeah.
And so a lot of those boys that are at the Warriors that would have won that, probably I dare say 80% of those boys are probably full-time with the Warriors that train every day, all day. Whereas Queensland Cup is sort of still that semi-professional. And don't get me wrong, New South Wales Cup have that too, where they have their own squads of players. But like Mahe was saying, players are going to drop back. And I think just a lot more players do in the New South Wales Cup. I don't know why, but yeah, I think that's just the way it is at the moment.
Your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, similar to that. I mentioned that yesterday to some of our young kids. I just feel like when they asked, what do you think about who's going to win? And I said, depending on what players the Warriors will get back from NRL, that's definitely going to play a part. And from what I've seen from the game, I've seen that Tuapiki, is it? Yeah, he went well, scored a try. Tanner Boyd, steering them around. So those boys, and Bunty as well, you know what I mean? That's a great asset to have. Having those boys come back, and then it lifts the game of, the Reggie's players that are there, lifts their game up. So I said that to the boys, and then that's what come out the other end. The Waz ended up getting the win. And congrats to them,
And a lot of it is luck too, eh? Like, if you get, a team full of injuries at first grade, you lose your players. Majority of my games were in New South Wales Cup, and I'll always be hoping that, they'll be...
Something. I hope he does his heavy on this carry.
He's on the sideline watching. Please get into
This is a tackle.
Drop him, bro. You got to drop him.
Noting all the mistakes.
Hey, coach, I just noticed that.
But then that sort of, makes up your New South Wales Cup team. If you got injuries at the top, everyone's moving up, then you're getting, the next level of players coming through to New South Wales Cup. So
yeah, no, and it's just insane when you're saying that, Tuapiki and Tanner Boyd. Tanner Boyd was running the Warriors around and steering the Warriors around in the bloody NRL semi-final, whereas those Cup boys from Burleigh, they were on a job site, bloody still fixing, the day before the game. So that's probably the difference between New South Wales Cup.
Is
and
it a
Q
thing
Cup.
for clubs like the Broncos or those that are in Q Cup to have a second side like that to then be able to compete at that?
As in have their own reserve grade team.
They have like 2 or 3 different ones up there.
That they feed into. So instead of sending 9 players to the one club, 3 will go over here, 3 will go over there, to even out the competition in the QRL. So, I don't know if it's worth looking into that they have their own, each individual one, but
Might have to give.
What's that, mate?
Did you want to take that up with them?
I might have speak to the board.
It was cool to have the 2 winners come together and have a game. But
that's awesome.
Then you look at it and like, oh man, that Warriors, like you said, stacked with NRL players. During the week they had Fish and Chance having to run around with them. That would have been an extra help with the boys for in the week. So
So big mihi to the NRL for such a great spectacle yesterday, and it's off season now. I wonder what the boys are up to.
Off to Bali.
Off to Bali.
But me to you fellas, and just wanted to talk to you about your kaupapa while you're here this weekend, and firstly, as a coach of the New Zealand Māori Invitational team playing against the league legends that you were both played in last year, and what are you most looking forward to, bro?
Honestly, just back home and immersed in our culture. Majority of our camp that we are going to do is just reconnecting. Reconnecting, bro. We don't people like myself. I lived overseas. I've been overseas for more than 20 years now. So it's very few and far between where we get opportunities to come home and just be surrounded by us, be surrounded by Māori, be Māori. That's the main thing I'm looking forward to, bro. I've brought my kids home to be able to be a part of it. I'm thankful to JD and New Zealand Māori Rugby League for giving me this opportunity. Bro, I'm just can't wait to get down to Rotorua, get into camp with the boys and get going.
Bro, Mahe, you were a part of the kaupapa last year, and it's a big emphasis around mental health. And what made you, want to be a part and come and play in this competition?
Firstly with their main reason of men's mental health. I'm a big advocate for men's mental health. I've had a couple really close mates that have taken their lives to mental health. So I'm a very big advocate for it, and I'd share that message, share that awareness. Letting men know around the country, around the world. if you can just, share, what your burden is, to reach out, it's like that ain't weak to speak, and like that. So that's one of the main reasons. I want to jump on board. When Sione gave me a call to come on board last year, that was a big part of it. And then also just getting to rub shoulders with some of the NRL legends, that come through, Ali Lauatiti,
that was the best, bro.
Yeah, so some of those old school boys, getting to have a run around with them, and coming into camp, like some of us have never met, but you know what the poly Māori boys are like. As soon as you get in camp, shake hands, laugh straight away.
Mocking everyone straight away.
Don't even know hi, nothing. Just go, well, what do you call these? You know what I mean? Straight away. You know what I mean? No hi, good morning, nothing. Just straight into the mocks. And yeah, man. So it's always good to be a part of that. That brotherhood and that culture. We all just get along straight away. So yeah, that's they're the two main reasons I want to get on board.
Talking about mental health, bro, and the huge part that has in the game. What was the time in your career, bro, where you sort of, felt real low, and how did you sort of get through that?
Just because I'd come through the system quite young. 17 was my first. I was 17 when I had my first pre-season with Melbourne Storm, and took me a year or two before I got my debut. But just the weekly grind and the mental battles that you got to face. Being in and out of the team. Sometimes you might think you played a game, but it just wasn't up to scratch, and you're getting dropped. And just being so young and having to deal with that adversity. It was quite tough at that time. But thankfully for me, I'd good support network, and my wife now, he was my fiance and girlfriend at the time. She definitely helped me, overcome those hurdles in my early stages of my career. So I'm very grateful for her. And then just the support network. I think now clubs, and I'm pretty sure they did have back then, just welfare officers. So big shout out to them doing their part in the game. Being like a, what do you call it? Being there for players, that are facing adversity. So yeah, the Melbourne crew down there, Pete Robinson and BP there, they definitely helped me through some tough times down at Melbourne. So yeah, grateful for them and grateful for my wife who helped me get through some tough times there.
Yeah, I'll come back to that mental health stuff, but for the bro Kenny, when you guys assemble for the Māori team, what does that look like? Because obviously you mentioned you've been away out of the country, out of your whānau circle for 20 years. I'm guessing some of the other boys will be the same. Like, what does that camp look like?
I'm very lucky, bro. JD gave me a couple really good staff that help us with our cultural side of it. We have a couple of very good staff, bro. Pātara Berryman and Bud. Bud is our assistant coach, and Pātara will be our cultural advisor. From Waikato, bro, Māori hard. So they've really helped us shape our camp. But also, I've got a very good trainer and manager on board. I've got a very good trainer and manager on board who are Māori. So they've all helped us shape how our camp looks. And like I said, bro, a lot of it is just reconnecting, putting our feet on the ground. Who are we? Why are we here? What does it mean to be Māori? And yeah, just being Māori in the Māori environment, bro.
Nice.
Your the bro's other nickname is Ngeru. Ngeru, a cat. So had like 9 or more lives. But I know I'm lucky enough to play with you, bro, and know your story. But you've been given heaps of opportunities and heaps of chances. And what's a moment that you go back to, bro, and as a turning point for you?
The turning point for me, you know what, bro? The throughout my career, like you said, bro, I had probably one too many chances, if I'm honest. But the one thing that sticks out to me is Brad Arthur called me in his office one morning. I'd asked for a release to head off. I had potentially a gig to go to the Titans at the time. He didn't pick me for round 1 after I thought, I was one of our better players in the whole final series in 2017. Come round 1, he didn't pick me. And I walked in his office straight away. No, I didn't walk in his office. I went and made sure I had a job to go to the Titans, and they were keen. Walked in his office and I said, I want to go. I don't want to be here anymore. Didn't pick me for round one, sort of thing. And he just sat there, bro, and he said, bro, do you think you're a good dad? I said, bro, I am. I bring my kids in every day. I'm a good dad, Brad. He goes, I think you're a good dad. You're not a consistent dad. At the time, bro, that really hit me because I like to think I was, at the time I thought I was a good dad. But it wasn't till I went to the UK and I went sober. That's what I really, I realised what being a good dad is when I went sober. I went sober, and that's when I realised, man, this is what Brad was talking about. This is how you be a good dad. So, throughout my career, that's probably the one thing that stuck out for me. My kids are my world, man. And that's probably the one thing that stuck out to me, bro, because at the time I thought I was a good dad. It wasn't until I went sober and I really got to connect with my kids and really seen what it was like to be a good dad. So, like you said, bro, I've had probably one too many chances, but, that's why I am here now, and I do what I do now, because I show the kids, this is what you don't do. When you're young and toy, this is what you don't do, kids. But yeah, I'm proud of my journey. Wouldn't change it for the world, bro. Wouldn't change it for the world. Because if I didn't experience that, I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I'd be able to connect with the kids I do now. I work with a lot of kids that have been taken out of their parents' care. Also in Mackay, I wouldn't be able to connect with them. But just the everyday kid, bro. Like I love my job. I love waking up and doing what I do. And I don't think if I didn't have the background I did, maybe I wouldn't be here.
So just touching on that, bro, you two are both, former players and sort of moving into coaching now and working with kids. And can you just tell us a little bit about how the League Kings came about and, how you got all the boys involved? And I know Manu Mo's in there too. And, what's that journey been like, bro?
Bro, to be completely honest, I just sort of fell into it. I'd never really planned to be a coach. Although, like, even in the last couple of years when we were playing it in Super League, like, I was always a coach within the changing rooms. I was always a coach, even at Para, bro.
You've always been like that.
My second year of first grade, Brad had me in
straight over after every game. What are we up to tonight? Nah, we'll go home, rewatch the game. But we just played. And everything. See, you got to give me the ball now. See you, baby.
If you don't know, there's this word and it's called super. So the Pro overcalls everyone in the team. See, when you call super, then give it to me, mate.
Kick the ball out on the full.
No, but bro, I've always been like a coach within in the changing rooms, and like even I was just about to say, like my second year of first grade, Brad had me in the leadership group. I was 24 years old, 25 years old, and so I've always sort of I didn't really know I wanted to be a coach until I got to Mackay, and just seeing the lack of development opportunities, professional development opportunities for the kids there. Rugby league rules Mackay, bro, and it ain't even close. There's no sport that comes close to rugby league in Mackay. However, I just seen the lack of development, not only for players but for coaches. There's no opportunities for coaches to develop. And then that's where I just sort of thought, man, I've got a skill set, because I signed there to like work in welfare, and to do like a bit of coaching with the Mackay Cutters. But yeah, very soon after that, I realised I can do this by myself. So I went out by myself. I was lucky enough, like you said, bro, I was lucky enough to have my mate here, my good mate here, who also is like another coach in the changing rooms for outside backs, bro. Still to this day, does a lot of that with Mackay Cutters. Was able to get Mahe on board, and Jimmy Tamo's come in and done some stuff. Todd Carney's come in and flown in and done some stuff, and then Manu sort of reached out, and Manu wanted to do a bit of mentoring and stuff, and he's seen our program, and he sort of said, bro, can I come and learn off you? And then I want to go out by myself, sort of thing. I said, bro, 100%, man. So we got Manu to Mackay from the south of France.
Scary man.
Nicky and Mackay.
Yeah. So then Muns turned up, bro, and like Muns. So, bro, Muns. We played with Muns at Para. If you had to ask me a year ago, bro, would Muns be here? Would he be putting himself out there? Would he be coaching kids? Man, I've seen so much growth in Muns this last few months, bro. Like, so proud of Muns and Mahe, as I am all my coaches, bro. So proud of Muns as the way he's heading. We're about to announce some stuff very soon with Manu Ma'u, very, very soon. And yeah, just so proud of him and all our coaches, that we have at League Kings.
What about you, brother? Well, what sort of made you want to get into?
Well, mainly through Ken. I play my part in teams. Just sharing my footy knowledge to the younger generation and always trying to help them out from my experiences. And then, Kenny, come up with this idea that he wanted to put into Mackay and just ask for my help, and I wasn't never going to turn the bro down, so come together and just give our footy knowledge to the community. From seeing how passionate he was, it made me more passionate, because I always thought when I was going to finish up with footy, that was going to be me. I was like, I've seen how hard coaches and that have worked, the hours they put in, they're in there first and out there last, and I was like, I'm never going to be that guy. I'll go home as soon as I can. But again, bro, it's done a full circle, and here I am, me and this guy here. That bro's coming over with his laptop, and we're trying to make up drills and that. Coming up with drills and stuff like that, late night meetings. Bro, phone calls. I get sick of this guy's phone calls. I'm at work. Oh, bro, let me work, man. And it's like, what should we do here? So yeah, I've just seen how passionate he is. It's given me a drive, and it's made me, find a love in passing on my knowledge, and coaching, and just seeing kids progress, and it gives you a sense of fulfillment. Like with our tournament, like just that went past, seeing the girls and our boys, sort of the icing on the cake, seeing them perform on the weekends and put out what we've taught them over the last 10 weeks. Similar to what's going to happen this weekend, bringing our academy over here, the last 10 weeks that we've been coaching them, that's all the hard work, and this weekend's just going to be the icing on the cake for us, giving them an opportunity to showcase what we've taught them in another country. So really excited.
Yeah,
very good.
Something I'm most proud about, you fellas, is there's not many Māori and Pacifica coaches out there, and you two have been coached by some of the best coaches in the game, and fortunate to get that knowledge. But most importantly for me is, so our kids can see we can be coaches too, and that's been the coolest part about following your guys' journey. But in saying that, what sort of coach, you've been coached by some of the best coaches. Who's one coach that, you try to replicate, you've taken some gems from? And
bro, everything I do is based off the best coach I've ever had is Brad Arthur, bro. Honestly, as a person and as a coach, there's not too much better blokes out there. And there's definitely not too much better coaches out there. There's very few that are out there that are at that level. Very few get to coach in the NRL. So I was lucky enough to come through with Brad, bro. And literally everything, all my teachings, bro, are from him. The way I speak, the way our drills, the way I coach. The way I coach will always be the way he does. He did, because he instilled confidence in me that I could do anything. So and that's what I say to my kids, bro. Like, back yourself. Back yourself. If it doesn't come off, you know what? We've got 12 mates who are there with you, who will defend the set for you. So everything I teach, bro, is just off the back of Brad. And it's not only that, bro. Like, I used to watch him bring his kids into training every day. Young Budsy and Jake. His two sons that are in the NRL now. Mate, freaks. They were, bro. Budsy, I don't know if you done the hill runs with Budsy. Budsy was like 8-9 years old, bro, doing all these bloody fitness things with us, bro, smoking us. So yeah, little freaks, bro. And just like the way I seen he was with his kids, he's a person that will always not only as a coach but as a person I'll always look up to.
That's so cool to hear. Just on Brad, because he got a hard time this year. Losing his gig. With the club, and but to hear that, just hear that from a personal experience, that how good of a coach he was. Not many people, they'll only see what they saw in the
100%
in the media. So, shot.
For me, so I touched before on Craig Bellamy giving me a lot of my footy knowledge that I have in the game, and being able to apply that in my trade throughout the years that I've played. But if there was a coach I'd probably like to replicate or have similarities to. Probably a coach not well known over here in Australia, but was my coach over in England at the Hull FC, or Lee Radford.
Oh, yeah,
Just with him, like the footy knowledge might not have been his best, attribute, but he was the best coach for me on a personal level, getting the best out of me, just knowing how to get the best out of his players. He had a good connection with his Polynesian boys, and he recruited lots of Poly boys over there. And yeah, he just knew, obviously being in another country on the other side of the, on the other side of the world from our loved ones. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, in the snow, it's dark when you wake up. Kids walking home from school. Yeah, it's dark too. But he knew how to, connect with us, on a personal level, getting the best out of us. So yeah, I'd probably like to, I'd like to be able to replicate a coach. I'd like my similarities to go to him, just be able to connect with my players on a personal level, getting the best out of them, as well as pass my knowledge on to them.
What about you? You going to go, coach?
I already said my dad was my favourite coach. He was my first coach and my favourite coach, bro. So he sort of, introduced me to sport. And but I like what you called there, bro, like over the other side, how, is he from England too?
Yeah.
How he could connect with the Poly boys.
100%.
And that's important, bro. Like, majority of our game is Poly and Indigenous players, how do we, you've both played for, for the Māoris, you've played for Tonga.
Yep.
What do you say to, to a little Tongan kid who wants to, to pursue a career in rugby league, bro?
Just like giving it their all. A lot of coaches love just seeing the effort. You mightn't run first in your fitness drills. You mightn't be the strongest in the gym, but coaches love to see the effort. That never give up attitude. And sometimes kids might get turned away when they're young for being too small or whatever it is. But just like I said, that never giving up attitude. Just to if you get knocked down, just get up, have another crack, and just putting in your best effort all the time. Because coaches see that. Yes. There's some very talented kids, but hard work's going to beat that talent. If that kid's only going to purely rely on that talent, hard work's going to beat that in the end of the day. Yeah. So just that hard work and never giving up.
And that, what about for to you, bro, for a kid who's trying to connect to a coach? And we're lucky to play with some players, Fijians, Tongans, Samoans who, some have no English when you meet them. I think of Tui, bro. Yeah. When we first met him,
both
and
Tui and Semi.
And what are some tips to some of our Indigenous players to connect to? Because we know the importance of connecting to a coach. And what did you use to to connect with your coaches, bro, over the years?
I think, bro, the main thing is there's no dumb questions. There's no dumb questions when it comes to rugby league or even life in general. And what I've said to our boys and girls is come and ask. If you don't know, come and ask, man. But then saying that, our young Māori in Pacifica, a lot of them don't have that confidence to sort of step up and
no way.
Ask hard.
No way. Let's be honest.
Oh, bro,
stay quiet in the room.
Sit at the back,
Yeah, but in all honesty, if I can give one bit of advice for our Māori in Pacifica coming through, it's just there's no dumb questions, man. Ask questions. Be coachable, and just ask questions, bro. Like, there's no dumb questions. I love when kids come and ask for feedback, and I'm sure all the first grade coaches love seeing those fellas come to their door and say, asking, what can I work on? What did I do wrong at training? What did I do right? What can I work on? So just being coachable, and if you're a person who hasn't got that confidence, sometimes, and I'll refer back to one of our coaches, Manu. Like I said, if you had asked me a year ago if he's out coaching his own groups, if he's spreading his word, if he's going one-to-one with parents, talking with parents, I would have said hell no. So it's possible for anyone. If you've got a coach like Manu who looks the scariest.
He looks a scary man, bro.
The scariest bloke in the world, but man, very few words.
Bloke in the world.
But honestly, so nice. And so if he can, with his background that he's come from, anyone can, bro.
That year he had the Mr. T haircut, that mohawk thingy. I was like, he looks ruthless.
Bro, 100.
Yeah. What about you, bro, for, connecting as Pacifica?
I feel like if you try and get to them, get to know them on a personal level. Obviously, I think for older kids, for coaches and having some Pacific or Māori players in your team, I feel like family is a big cultural aspect for players. So if they're able to connect with maybe the family or him and his ties to the family to maybe, get the best out of him, or maybe utilise his family to be able to pass the message on to get to be able to get through to them. If they're a more quiet, reserved kid player that just wants to sit at the back of the thing, maybe speaking to a family member to be able to connect a bit better first. So, I think that's probably my advice to any coaches out there that have got young Māori Pacifica players coming through. Just try and find out what their why is, and why they want to be there, and then probably connect through that way.
My last part about the academy and what your mahi you guys do. We had a bro on last week, Tai Tupu, and he spoke heavily on mental health.
Yep.
Do you see how important is mental health for our young ones, like these days, like this generation? Obviously a little bit different to the way I was brought up.
Yep.
I'm 40. Way older than you fellas, but
no, 29.
But brought up in that way where you just had to
carry on.
Toughen up, carry on. How has that changed you guys as coaches, knowing that mental health's a big driver of this kaupapa, but now you got to work with a different generation?
100%, bro. You're absolutely right too. This generation is a lot different to when we grew up. These things that are, we've got in front of us, our phones, our iPads. A lot of kids spend a lot of time in that. Less time, more time here, less time outside. But we see a bit come through our academy, and bro, just like anything, as Mahe was saying. Mahe's really good at picking up on different things. So we have like in the academy, sometimes I miss things, and this is the luxury I have as a coach. Is I've got two coaches that are with me who can pick up on different things. There was just this one instance, and I won't mention any names in our academy. And then we used to wonder why, he'd react different to this person, that person. And Mahe sort of said to me, he goes, "Bro, maybe we just need to change the setting. Instead of in front of the team, maybe we got to, behind the scenes." And then I'd watch Mahe go and speak to him behind the scenes and try and bond that way, connect that way. Everyone's different, bro. Everyone's different. Everyone's going to handle things differently too. But especially for kids, bro, I'd love to see especially with my own kids. I've got to put my hands up, more time outside, less time on these things. But everyone has a story, bro, and everyone suffers in a different way. And I just hope, bro, that my kids, they feel comfortable enough, if they were ever going through anything, to come to either me or one of our coaches. If they're ever struggling, and not just my kids, bro, any kids in general, any kids in general, bro. I'm going to tell you, these days are the next generation of the next sort of crew to take us through. And anyone that's ever got a problem, bro, just don't be afraid to open up. Find that safe person. If that's that one safe person you got, bro. I know I had one person growing up who was my safe person. I always went to, bro. When Dad would give me a dong, I always go to my uncle. So
Dad gave me a dong.
What for?
Deserved it. But bro, just if need be, if you've got that one safe person, bro, you need to confide, you need to talk to that person.
How's your experience with that, with this generation?
Obviously with what goes on in this like in this time, they're exposed to a lot of different things, and out in the world there's some different characters out there, but they're all about including in that. So similar to Ken, man, just don't be afraid to reach out. You know what I mean? Like you touched on before, like you say something and you get the dong and you play on, don't worry about that, but I feel like for kids now, just don't be afraid to speak to your parents or a safe person, that they can reach out to. And I think now even us older people, we're starting to realise how to approach our younger kids, what I mean now? It's not like, give them a smack. It's we need to connect on
hey.
the stronger. Don't worry about my kids. They know why they're getting there. Don't expose me like that, man.
Just joking, Fano.
Love you, kids.
Mihi ana kia kora, we've got about 10 minutes left on the show. We'll just move on to a bit of the sport that happened in the weekend. The All Blacks won the Bledisloe Cup against Australia 28-14.
Yep.
Has rugby ever been an option?
Or part of your lives?
Yeah, bro, I play both. Probably everyone does in New Zealand. As kids, you play both. I was playing first 15 as well as, and then I'd go play for Whiti Tara in the men's age group down there when I was 15. So it was everyone played rugby in league growing up, bro, in my area. I grew up in a rugby league family. From 3 years old, bro, all I remember is rugby league. So as of late, I haven't really watched any rugby, to be fair, bro, for years, to be quite honest. That we were at a get-together for while the All Blacks were on in the background. And I'd heard a lot of screaming, because obviously in Oz, we're in Oz, a lot of screaming, and then turned around, and it looked like, because I think they just went in front by 3 points or something like that. I was like, oh, yeah, sweet. Look back around in like another 20 minutes, All Blacks were gone. Yeah, again. So yeah, no, I haven't. To be fair, bro, I haven't watched a lot of rugby union in years and years.
I'll talk about rugby then. Again, we're having a corridor before obviously the All Blacks first time this year going back-to-back games wins. They got a bit of mahi to do before.
Yeah. I was going to say that, bro. How are they travelling? Because like I said, I've only. When I was really watching rugby, it was when the All Blacks were untouchable. And then I see world record South Africa scores or something the other week, was it? Something like that,
and 2 weeks ago.
How are they tracking as a team?
Yeah,
he's a host now.
He's asking the questions.
Sign him up.
Watch out, Courtney, watch out, bro.
Jordan, your seat's taken. They're obviously doing their mahi. They got it's the boss. It's the boss.
Too much time's up. Is he free next week?
We were talking about it, like the All Blacks are always going to be good, just everyone else is caught up.
Yeah.
The Springboks are unreal. I saw this reel just this morning. Someone got asked about the 2011, 2015 All Blacks, and then this year's, the Springboks now, who he thought would be the best. And obviously he went back to those All Blacks because they just had a bit of an aura about them.
Yeah,
but the current Springboks team now has got that.
Oh, do they? Yes, far out.
So they're the crazy. Yeah, they're the tohunga of rugby these days. But the All Blacks, I think after that performance, they've got a bit of time, and then hopefully they can do a job on the Northern Hemisphere in the year tour. But it was a big shout out to who came back, Whanganuku. It was his first game back for a few years, and it didn't look like he skipped a beat, bumped off Suali'i. They looked like it was going to be a solid tackle, but Joey ended up on the ground.
I think I've seen that highlight.
But big mihi to the ABs for coming away with the win there. Obviously, Heartland's finished.
Yeah. No questions, bro.
Captain?
Yeah, captain this year of the Heartland, and 0 from 8 this season, so lots of learning.
New captain next year.
New captain.
The debut retirement.
But I'm still proud of my boys. You see at the bottom, at the lows, you see who's there for you, and our group was still tight, and we go again next year, and off to play some bit of rugby league now. So moving on, Alex Pereira won the UFC yesterday. That ever been an option? Because you two are quite known as feisty players, and NRL has getting into the ring been an option.
I was all kaka. If he not ever punched me, I was over, guys. He's done a bit of boxing in his time. Flip. Oh, butterbean.
Nah, never. Like, I don't mind the training aspect of it. Good little, off feet sort of sweat up in that, but hats off to those boys that step in the ring. I couldn't do that. Yeah,
it was actually a good fight. It only lasted one round. wasn't long, but Alex, the guy he beat him in the fight before. So it was like a revenge.
Gotcha.
Sort of a get back.
And apparently it might be Carlos Olberg, the Kiwi, who
might get a go.
Yes.
Good luck, Carlos. You look pretty good, bro.
Is that the Sharma fellow? Is that it? Oh, yeah. He's a crack up, watch all this.
So he's the champ again, light heavyweight champ.
But yeah, Minu kia korua. Just about to wrap up the show, but wish you luck for the academy. The games on Saturday, 3 games on Saturday, and how's the Māori team looking, bro?
Our Māori team? Yeah, bro, good. Bro, as all teams at this time of the year, you get injuries, you get, fellas making representative side, Cook Island side, fellas making the New South Wales Cup Grand Final versus the Queensland Cup Grand Final, so they unfortunately had to pull out. But, bro, we're going in confident, mate. Young team, we picked a young team on purpose. Young legs, bro. But, no, so what I wanted to do with our Māori team is create an opportunity for those players in between that in the New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup that don't really. So you have the New Zealand Māori residents that normally play every year against Auckland or someone, and then you have the All Stars. There was no real team that in between for those Queensland Cup or New South Wales Cup players to get the opportunity to represent. Like, I've got a fellow who's never been to Aotearoa before. He's the Mackay Cutters captain, Hiale Roycroft. So I wanted to give those boys that were sort of in between the All Stars and the New Zealand residents that opportunity to play. And they're also thankful, bro. Everyone can't wait to get into camp. Jimmy, as soon as I asked Jimmy to be captain, bro, he said, bro, I wouldn't miss this for the world. Everyone wants to play for that jersey, bro. Like I said, bro, when I approached these boys, bro, straight away, I would have never turn this jersey down. I got to speak to Sammy Rapira, and he said, bro, still to this date, that's the one jersey, that sits above them all, bro, is that New Zealand Māori. I played for the Kiwis, I played for the New Zealand Māori, he said, but nothing like playing for your people, bro, so can't wait, man.
Mean, brother. And the League Legends, bro, are you part of that?
Yeah, so they've given me a title there. Hydration tech guy. So, those boys will definitely be looked after. They'll definitely be looked after. And, so the fluid, so their fluids will be high on the field there. So they won't have to worry. They won't be parched out on the field there. I'll make sure they're very hydrated.
Well, mihi nui ana kia kora. Thank you both for coming in and sharing your knowledge and your stories.
Yeah, me.
It's been an awesome little kōrero. But before we finish up, one thing we do is have a sharp as and a sharpen up moment. So I'll start us off. My sharp as moment of the week. It goes to one of our trainers in our rugby team. He was the guy that just did things behind the scenes, and I like to think those people sometimes those thankless jobs, the trainers, like
100%.
And I didn't realise because I didn't play in the weekend, like I got to actually see like
what he does,
bro. So I like to meet to him, but also to all those people behind the volunteers. That do that thankless mahi and behind the scenes. So to the bro Jamie, mihi ana kia koe, bro.
Cheers, Jamie.
I don't have a sharpen up moment this week, but Joe, yours?
I don't have a sharp as, but my sharpen up moment is to myself. Sharpen up is kind of like a bit of an uppercut yourself.
Okay. Uppercut yourself now so everyone can see.
My sharpen up moment, to myself is it was my son's birthday on the weekend. 6, he turned 6, and I told all the parents, drop your kids off at the marae. I'll take them for the day. never again.
Oh, bro.
I ended up with like 13 kids, all under 6.
Collecting kids.
And it was a good birthday for the little fella, but by the end of it, bro, lost out on a lot of money, lost out on needed earplugs in the van from venue to venue, but to all those whānau that dropped your kids off, you owe me one.
What about you, bro?
Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go
Who wants to get the last hook?
I'll go. I've got a sharp as. Sharp as, similar to what Uppy does. What Uppy sort of mentioned, and it's just for people in my academy. This is going to sound pretty weird, but bro, I'm a very closed off person. Even with our academy, there's not many people that come in, and I find it hard to bring people in, and I just feel like I find it hard to trust people. But sort of the last couple of weeks, I've sort of opened up and given people some roles within the academy, and we just run the All Stars over in Australia, bro. And like you said, the pressure that was being able to take, I was be able to sit back and just be able to coach, in particular our girls. We had a lady named Bex Williams that come on, and mate, sort of just done everything for our academy, bro, from kit uniform to organising the girls to the bloody game day fruit to everything. Like you said, bro, these people are invaluable, man. Something I've got to learn to do is let people in and let take a weight off my shoulders, and she really done that, bro. So my sharp as is Bex Williams.
Sharp.
Any sharpen ups?
I've definitely got to sharpen up, but I just want to give a sharp as one. Just a quick shout out to Linda Edwards, the bro's sister, just organising our trip over here, man. The boys are going through some cultural activities at the minute and some cultural experiences for them, and just for her to have, these boys don't know how hard she's worked behind the scenes, just rental vans, getting them over, group bookings and that, you know what I mean, having to deal with all the airlines and that, can be very tricky. So, shout out to Linda getting us over here and having everything organised for us. On the other hand, my sharpen up moment is her brother. So our first, we got in late last night and had an early start this morning. So boys are running on 2-3 hours sleep. My mates over here forgot how to use a toaster, and so toast's gone in. Old mate just forgot his toast. Anyway, someone smelt some burnt toast, popped it up. A couple seconds later, the fire alarm's gone off. Everyone just walking around, no dramas. And then Linda said, bro, the fire brigade's on the way in. Mate, fire brigade's on the way in. Almost like, bro. Anyway, so fire brigade rocks up. Two cop cars, bro. They get out, get the axe out, start kitting up. We run out. No, mate. No. It's just burnt toast. Bro, burnt toast. And so they've done this whole thing. It was a good little experience for the boys. But then the man has the audacity to come once everything's like, who the hell used the toaster last? Who put it on high? Who put it on before? He didn't want to take accountability and wanted to blame the guy before him.
Who would turn the toaster up that far where it burns the toaster? Trying to blame
old mate didn't even want to own his own
forfeit. We had to do a forfeit to walk the line this morning before I come and get a dong.
So that's my sharpen up moment. Please remember to use a toaster tomorrow, brother.
Sort it out. Mihi ana kia koutou. Thanks, brothers, for coming in and for the mahi that you do and the opportunities you provide for the many kids that'll cross paths with you over the next few years too, and we wish you all the best. I think that's us. Big mihi to our sponsors, Groove Bar and Beard Brothers. And that's 31 eps done.
Mickey, bro, you done a good job.
You did a great job, bro.
Good job, Auntie Courtney.
And then she even rang you and tell her, no worries, Auntie. Kete pai. Cheer.
Cheer.